everybody, good people. It's day 30. I mean, you're right here at the finish line. You are right here at the finish line, at least of this finish line, of going through the 31 days of Proverbs with me. So whether you are checking this out with me right now this morning, or if you are watching this throughout the day, you may be coming back to see this months from now. Some of you may decide to come back and do this again on your own, going through the Proverbs in those 31 days in another month. Either way, I'm just glad that you went on the journey with me. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And it's so crazy that today's proverb is so different. Like, it's so different. But I think for those of you that love the Bible and just really are intrigued by the way that the writers would write, and just, God, it's just so cool. I think you'll actually like today's proverb because it has such rhythm. It has such a flow to it. And it also can almost sound a little confusing, but it really isn't. I mean, it's straight up, but it's really, really different. So today, the way I want to kind of share may seem a little different, although our title today is That's Enough. You're going to see why in just a second. Our title is That's Enough. But really, we're going to look at kind of a big space in this proverb, even though I'll just read two actual verses. We're really almost covering verses 15 all the way through 31, because you'll see kind of the flow of how the writer is writing here. And it's really, really different, and it's really kind of cool. So I think it'll be something that you'll never forget. So you're never going to forget day 30, that's enough, Proverbs 30. So we're going to read verses 15 through 16. And so it says, the leech has two suckers that cry out, more, more. Some of your translations say, give, give, or some may say, gimme, gimme. So the leech has two suckers that cry out, more, more, give, give, give me, whatever. They're begging, I want more. There are three things that are never satisfied. No, four that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, the thirsty desert, the blazing fire. Oh man, you guys. So again, today we're talking about that's enough. So whether this particular portion of Proverb 30 is talking about people or actually talking about critters, it really is trying to give us an understanding here of just the natural world. Like, that's something that we face every single day, that we will continue to face, whether it's from someone else or us having to watch ourselves to make sure that we're not in a space that we can never be satisfied. And it's interesting to me because this was kind of like a slap in the face to me, because a lot of people have asked me over the course of time, Natalie, are you happy? Are you good? Are you content? And I realized in reading this today, I normally say no. There's always this insatiable desire to want more, to do more, to help more. But what he's saying here, I want you to consider and I want you to learn. So that's what I want us to do today with this proverb. I want us to consider it, and I want us to learn something from it. So for me today, and what I hope that I'm sharing with you, is that when we get to a space that we are never satisfied, like that itch can't be scratched. I mean, there's just always something. You can be teetering on greed. You can be teetering on always wanting something more, instead of being at a space, even as we talked about money, we don't want to be in a space where it's always give me, give me, give me more. I need more. All right, because that's dangerous. But see the interesting way that this is written, because we're going to see a flow all the way through verse 31. So some of you have already read the whole proverb today, so you already get it. And you're like, oh, okay, I really see it now. And some of you haven't yet. So when you read the entire proverb, you're going to see the rhythm of what starts to take place from verse 15 all the way to verse 30. This is literally just a literary style of the writer. And I noticed that in Proverbs, we see this, in Job, we see this, also in Amos, we see this, where this kind of concept of kind of taking it to that next step, because the writer says, there are 3 things that are never satisfied. No, 4 that never say enough. You may see this in Proverbs 6:16. It says it like, there are 6 things the Lord hates. No, 7 things he detests. Or Job 5:19 says, from 6 disasters he will rescue you. Even in the 7th, he will keep you from evil. So you can see how it goes from one space to then it ups at 1. So I want us to see this. So this leech, we know that a leech, whether this is a critter or whether a person, is someone that attaches itself, that latches on, and usually a leech is going for blood. It's trying to suck you dry. So that's why it's important for us to know that a leech, whether you are that leech or whether someone is leeching on you, that leech has 2 suckers, or some scriptures say 2 daughters that are literally saying, give me, give me, give me. They're crying out. The leech wants more. It wants to, after it has taken everything it possibly can, it's never satisfied. So it wants even more. So then watch how the Bible says there are 3 things that are never satisfied. No, 4 that say enough, that never say enough. And look at the example: the grave, the barren womb, the thirsty desert, and the blazing fire. Those are 4 things that it's like they cannot get enough, just like the symbolism of this leech, the grave. We know that right now. It is like people are literally dying, literally just continuously. Death, we're just seeing it constantly in all facets. The grave never says enough. The barren womb, you see it all throughout the Bible. You may even know somebody that has had this burning desire for a child, but that barren womb, it just continues to stay barren. It won't fill up. It won't hold up. I'll go to the next one. The thirsty desert. It's as if you can put the most amount of water, the rain can continue to come, but if that desert is thirsty, it sucks it dry. The barren womb sucks it dry. The grave is reaching up and pulling in. Then it says the blazing fire. We think about, in this time, we think about what's happening in Hawaii or in California or even in parts of Texas, where the heat and what it's doing. Fires is a devouring element. Fire, it devours. It's like it's unstoppable. Goes back to, it's like it's not enough. That's why today I say that's enough. Consider and learn from the rhythm of how this writer wrote this. And then as you keep going, you'll hear him say, there's 3 things, no, 4 things. So those 4 are the things that are never satisfied. Now watch the other examples. In the next block, it says eagles, snakes, ships, and a man. These are 4 things he doesn't understand. That kind of rhymed. Eagles, snakes, ships, and a man. These are 4 things that he never understands. Go read this. This is so intriguing. Look at the life of an eagle. Look at how a snake moves. Look at ships and look at a man. These are 4 things that he doesn't understand. The next block: a slave, an overbearing fool, a bitter woman, and a servant girl. These are 4 things that the earth cannot endure. Ants, high-rises, locusts, lizards. These are 4 things that are small, but are wise. Y'all know, think, consider the ant. It talks about that in Proverbs. The lion, the rooster, a male goat, and a king. These 4 walk with a stride and a strut. Man, y'all, this is such a cool proverb. So when you get a chance, I want you to dive deeper into this particular proverb. But what I want us to consider and to learn today is that the verses 15 and 16 is like a leech. It says a leech never gets enough. What I want us to consider and what I want us to learn is consider, is there something or someone that is leeching off of you, sucking you dry? You don't gain from them, you are drained by them. I'll say that again. You don't gain from them, you are drained by them. They literally drain you. Because God wants us to be in a space of contentment. Yeah, that's almost a sign of godliness, this great contentment. And I love how Paul says it, and y'all have heard this. This is such a powerful text. Philippians 4:11-13 says, not that I was ever in need, for I have learned, remember, we want to consider and learn, how to be content in whatever I have. I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. A lot of us know that verse 13, but we didn't realize what Paul said before that. There was a certain way that Paul knew how to say enough. I don't go so deep into things where I suck it or them dry, because I've learned how to be satisfied. I've learned how to be content. I've learned the secret of living this life in every situation. And if we don't get anything else out of this time together in Proverbs, we have to learn that through wisdom, we should be like Paul, that we have learned to live the secret of how to live in every situation. Do your situations move you? That's enough. Does confusion around you shake you? That's enough. Do people drain you? That's enough. I want you to look and see, what is it around you that's greedy? Who is it around you that's greedy? Meaning that they are never satisfied and they're okay with literally draining you and sucking you dry. Because there are 4 things that this proverb says that is never satisfied: the grave, a barren womb, a thirsty desert, and a blazing fire. But we want to be like Paul. We want to be content in all things. So whether you are the one being drained or whether you are the one that is the leech, it's time to get to a place of saying, that's enough. It's time for us to get satisfied. God bless you.